What's up, Michigan fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Bluebeard Podcast, your daily podcast for all things Michigan football, Michigan basketball, and all Michigan sports. I'm Chris, your host. Thanks for hanging out with me and talking a little Michigan Wolverines. We got a great show today, one that is probably going to be a little divisive, as it always is when we talk about Bryce Underwood. But some news came out about more things that he is doing to try to improve. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 reasons why you should be excited and feel hopeful for Bryce Underwood. We're also going to take a look at recruit. I'm going to update you on some big news, big recruits, some Fong bombs, some predictions. We're going to take a look at that. And of course, we are going to update you on how Michigan softball did in the first game of the Big Ten tournament. Were they able to knock out those Buckeyes and keep it going to keep their season alive? We'll talk about it, and we'll wrap it up with the question of the day results, as always. All this and more on this episode of the Amazing Bluebeard Podcast. Let's go blue, and let's get to it. There's probably not been a more divisive topic among Michigan fans and among non-Michigan fans when you talk about the Michigan Wolverines other than Bryce Underwood, especially after the spring game. And with good reason. Because Michigan's quarterback play will be a deciding factor in how well their season goes. We talked about it in my game-by-game prediction video I did, and we've talked about it other times. Michigan has 4 50-50 games that are going to decide if they're 8-4, 10-2, 12-0. Those games are going to play a big role in how their season goes, and their quarterback play will be a deciding factor. So I get it. It's divisive. You've got people who say Bryce is washed, done, a waste of money. They need to just let Tommy Carr play, or anyone else. They are ready to just give up on Bryce altogether. Then you got people who are like, no, he is going to be fine. He's going to be a star. And they are backing him up, and, they're butting heads and they're going at it. And then you got people in the middle that are like, I see the potential, but I've seen a lot of bad things happen. But there are reasons for hope, and I'm going to wait and see what happens in the fall. And that's where I am. Should he be better? Yes. Am I ready to give up on him? No. And we're going to talk about why. Of course, I've got 3 reasons. Some of it you've heard. Some of it may be new. But let's start off with number 1 first of all, and that is that he has a much better coaching staff. Oh, side note also, flood the comments with how you feel. I bring the heat. I do not mind. This is, we are a community. We are a family. And sometimes we're going to disagree. Everyone can have their own opinion. Be respectful though. That is the one thing I will not tolerate is, people being disrespectful and nasty to each other in the comment section. We're all Michigan fans. We can have discourse and have fun and give our opinions, but respect each other still as well. So anyway, feel free to comment down below how you feel, whether you agree or disagree. I love it, and I will chat with you all about it. All right, so first of all, coaching staff. I've said this before. We all know, previous regime, he did not have a quarterback coach. His offensive coordinator was in the skybox, and his head coach was not thinking about football or Bryce Underwood. So he did not have the support system in place to grow. Yes. Did he have a private quarterback coach that he worked on outside of, Michigan football? Yeah. Did he play a bunch of games last year? Should he have progressed more? Maybe. But it's pretty toxic environment, not one set up to help a young man grow and succeed the way that it should have. And I think that that's going to make a big difference having Coy Detmer Jr., a quarterback coach that's going to talk to him all the time. Last year, if he made a good play with his feet, but he left a bigger play on the table with, a big throw down the field he missed, or if he gave up on the pocket too quick, it was just, oh, hey, yeah, good job. This year, with Coy Detmer Jr. always in his ear, he's going to come off the field, he's going to be like, hey, way to pick up some yards, but you know what? You missed a huge play down the field, and let me tell you why. Or if he tries to squeeze a ball into a tight window, and J.J. Buchanan makes a great contested catch, and he's triple teamed, and it could have been a pick, he's going to come off the field. They're going to say, whoo, J.J. bailed you out there, man. But it was a 30-yard gain. You need to be better and be smarter with your decisions. You see what I'm saying? He's going to get the praise and the flowers, but someone's going to be there to teach him constantly about what he did wrong, even when he's doing things right. And that is huge for a young quarterback. So that's going to be big. Jason Beck, look what he did with Devin Dampier at Utah, a quarterback that people said could only run and couldn't throw, and he had great success with him. Jason Beck is brilliant. He knows how to fit an offense to his players' talents and their strengths, and that's going to be huge as well. I think that they're going to let Bryce be himself. They're going to let him play to his abilities, and just think about some of those games last year. The Nebraska game, he was really good in. Maryland, he looked really good. Washington, he looked really good. Some of these games that he played very, very well when they took the handcuffs off. And I think we have way better coaches who know how to scheme better, who know how to coach players up better. So I'm very excited. And Kyle Whittingham, a calming force, a real father figure, someone that's going to help him grow as a person and is going to help him grow his confidence too, in a good way, in a respectable way. And I just think this coaching staff has the opportunity to make a huge difference for Bryce Underwood. This episode of the Maize and Bluebeard podcast is brought to you by Second Heart Ministries. In a world where so many are overlooked, forgotten, and struggling to be seen, there's a place where they matter. At Second Heart Ministries, they serve veterans, the homeless, special needs families, those battling addiction, underprivileged children, and men and women behind prison walls, reminding them they are not alone and they are not beyond hope. But they can't do it without you. Maybe you can't give financially, and that's okay. But something as simple as hitting follow on their Facebook page helps them to reach the ones who need the most. Because sometimes the smallest act of support can change a life. Second Heart Ministries, giving hope, a second chance, and a second heart. You can find information about Second Heart Ministries in the description box down below. Go Blue. Number 2, better talent and weapons. Michigan brought in J.J. Buchanan. They brought in Jamie French. They brought in Celeste Moa. They have Travis Johnson coming in as a freshman. They have a healthy Hogan Hansen. They have a great offensive line coach to get the most out of this talent and help them improve even more. He's got Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall, a fantastic running game, a great defense that I think is going to be way better than they were the last couple of years, even though they looked good at times. All of those things are going to be a better team around him, more weapons, and that's going to help him as well. Let's think about the starting receivers last year versus now. So you had Donovan McCauley, who was okay, but he could make some contested catches, but he never seemed to be able to get open. He wasn't a burner, anything like that. And then you had Samaj Morgan. Good Lord, dude could not catch. Think about how many times Bryce delivered a ball on time to him and he dropped it. That could have been big plays. And then you had Andrew Marsh, who you didn't even have until later in the season because Sharon Moore is a terrible judge of talent and did not understand the best players that should have been on the field. They're going to have a great run game again, which is good. But now the difference will be when they stack the box to stop that run game, Bryce is going to have weapons that should be able to get open. And he's going to be learning from the coaching how to stay in the pocket, how to buy more time, how to read the field better, how to stay calm. And he knows he's got support on the sideline, and that is going to make a big difference. So these weapons are going to make a huge difference for him. They're another reason for optimism. And finally, you may have seen the pictures, but we all knew that Bryce Underwood was working with one of the best QB guru, QB coaches out there in Jordan Palmer. He's been working with him, which is great. He's worked with a lot of the best, like him or not, he is one of the best in the biz. And that's awesome that he's working with him as well. But there was a picture right here. He's also working with and learning from Joe Burrow. And you can say what you want about his NFL career, injuries, all that stuff. But dude was one of the best prolific college passers there ever has been. So I think that's pretty awesome too. What this shows me, you can say, oh, none of that matters. But what it shows me is that he is doing everything he possibly can to get better. He's stayed. He's listening to the coaches. The coaches talk about his work ethic being strong. So I'm not saying he's going to be great. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. They're going to win the national championship. He's going to be perfect. He could still flop, but I'm saying you have to at least, even the biggest skeptic of him has to admit he is doing everything he can to try to get better. The coaches rave about his work ethic. He's putting it in. Also, he's working with one of the best QB coaches. He's picking the brain of one of the best college quarterbacks there is. He is working with all these new weapons. Like, he is doing everything he can. Michigan's doing everything they can to help him succeed. And we will see how it all pays off in the fall. But I think that these three things are signs for hope, and they show that there's a chance that he could take a huge step this year. And if he does, Michigan is going to be in really, really good shape. And for those of you naysayers, if he doesn't, we have a coaching staff that wants to win, and they're going to make moves and do what they have to do if Bryce is not the answer. But time will tell, and I think he's going to surprise people because he's doing everything he can, and I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with his play come fall. So now, let's update you on some recruiting. All right, there has been a narrative as of late that Michigan is not getting it done recruiting. People are getting worried. They're saying they can't lock in a 5-star, all this stuff. One, it's still very early. There's still a lot of time. Two, Michigan is kicking butt in recruiting. They are out there on the road, and they are knocking it out of the park. They are doing what they can to get as many good players as they can. But three, it's just like the transfer portal. Trust the process and trust Kyle Whittingham, his staff, the front office staff. Trust that they know what they're doing. They have way more experience than us. And they are not just looking for, oh, we want this 5-star, this top guy. They're looking for fits. They are building a culture. They want guys with the right attitude, with the right mindset, with the right skill set, with the right toughness, with the right grit. They want certain guys that are going to fit. So if they get 3 and 4 stars that they're going to coach up to become 5 stars, but they're the right fit, heck yeah. I mean, think about with Harbaugh. That's kind of how it went sometimes too. When we were building those great teams, it wasn't always the 5 stars. It was the guys that were a fit, that they felt good about, that they wanted to go into battle with. So that's what Michigan is doing now, and you just got to enjoy the process and get pumped. But they are going to get some 5 stars. And, I mean, they've already got Ricardo Kitchens, who has stayed on, who they've convinced to stay on. Great edge. He's going to be awesome. Camden Lapati, I love. He's going to be awesome. And of course, they just got Jakari Lipsey, who is fantastic. So that is already 3 guys that they've gotten to commit. And there's going to be more to come as they continue to make ground on the road. On the recruiting trail. Good Lord. But let's talk about some recent updates that I wanted to share with you. So recently, there's been some predictions that have gone out that I think we're all going to like, especially if they come true. Some fong bombs, if you will. And one of them is one we all want, and that is Quinton Burrell, receiver from Mount Carmel. He's a playmaker. We're all excited about him. I think that would be fantastic if he came to Michigan. He said about his last visit that it was really good. Gave me another chance to get more time with the coaches and staff and get to know the other recruits. Michigan's always been a front runner. And he said the coaches are close like a family. You can feel it. Plus, it's a great school in the Big Ten with great history and traditions. And then there's a couple of running backs I've mentioned before that I think would be great gets for Michigan, and they're looking really good for them too. Tyson Robinson, the number 14 rated running back. It's looking like Michigan's the front runner for him. They're getting some predictions to grab him. Also is another local running back, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kenowa Hills athlete London Hampton. He is one to keep an eye on as well. And then the one that a lot of people were talking about was 4-star edge Jace Brewer. Brewer looks like a beast. If you could get Brewer and have him and Kitchen together, that would be pretty freaking awesome. That would be awesome. So keep an eye on that. His decision is supposed to be coming soon. Michigan is definitely one to watch there as well. Another one that is gaining a lot of steam is safety Tavares Harrington. That would be really awesome if Michigan could get him. And then one that Michigan's trying to flip that they're making a lot of progress with that I would love is tight end Cole Lumpras from Alabama. He's committed to Alabama, but Michigan has been pushing hard to flip him. And he is a lot like J.J. Buchanan, like great tight end, great size, great hands, but got a lot of speed too. And he could really be a receiver, not just a tight end. So he could be a really fun get. So keep an eye on him. Michigan already has the number 19 class overall with just the few commits they've gotten. So I expect that to continue to rise as we get more and more commits. So just the fun's just starting. Get pumped. And no matter how this all shakes up at the end, I trust Kyle Whittingham and his staff, and I cannot wait to see the recruiting classes they build and the team that they build. So just enjoy the ride. Do not get worried. Do not get concerned. Don't get caught up in the how many 5 stars do we have compared to everybody else stuff. Whittingham knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for his whole life. So let's trust him. He knows what he's doing. He's going to find the right guys, and they're going to be awesome. I'll keep you updated on recruiting. We'll start having a little segment every day to tell you some things that I find. But yeah, do not worry. Do not fret. I got to come up with something like trust the dust for Wit. But for now, just remember, we're not worried about all 5 stars. We're worried about the fit for Wit. Let's update you on how softball did yesterday. Michigan softball entered into the Big Ten tournament with a great overall record, but a poor conference record. But they've been on the bubble. They have a good chance to get in because of that overall record and because the Big Ten has some of the best teams in the country. And I think that nationally, the decision makers for the tournament know that and understand why the Big Ten's been so tough. So Michigan needs to put on a good showing. If they just win it like they have the last 2 years, they'll be in for sure. So how would they start off? Pretty dang good as they rule Ohio State and end their season. They win 9-0. Heck to the yeah. And let me show you a little graphic here that you might find interesting. Michigan ended Ohio State's season in the tournament in hockey, in basketball, and now in softball. How sweet it is to knock those Buckeyes out. But let's talk about this game. Michigan rocked it out. 9-0 in only 5 innings. 3 runs in the third, 4 in the fifth, 1 in the first. Janelle Uquaya had 3 hits and a pair of RBI. Janessa Conway and Lily Valmont had 2 hits apiece. And Gabby Ellis earned her first complete game shutout of the season. No runs, only 5 hits, and a walk with 2 strikeouts. Fantastic game. And now they will play the number 1 seed today at 1 p.m. against Nebraska. Huge game. Don't miss it. It's going to be on the Big Ten Network. You're definitely going to want to catch it. It's going to be a great one. I'll be watching. So go Blue. Hopefully they can get it done and keep it rolling. I think if they beat Nebraska, I feel like they are probably in. If they lose, it's going to be up to the decision makers, and we'll have to see. But this was a great start. We'll see how the Nebraska game goes today. Also, as far as baseball goes, they still have a couple more series left before the Big Ten tournament starts for them. But I did look at the latest projections, and they are safely in at number 3 in their little region that they'll be in, as you can see here. So right now they're safely in. If they keep playing that way, they're just going to improve their stock as long as they don't go on a skid and get back on the bubble. But right now they're safely in, so hopefully it stays that way. Now it's time for the results to yesterday's question of the day. Remember, ask a question of the day every day. So if you didn't vote on today's after this video is done, head on over to the community tab and vote. Yesterday, I talked about the offensive line in my video. So I asked, how many sacks do you think the offensive line will give up this year? Last year, they gave up 21. And if you want a quick rundown of the years before that, last year they gave up 21. The year before that, 17. 20 the year before that. 17 the year before that. 14 the year before that. So your options would be less than 10. They're going to have one of the most epic, best years ever for an offensive line. 10 to 15. really good. That's usually where the teams that go on big runs end up. The really good teams with really good offensive usually are in that area. 16-20, very, very good, an improvement on last year, or more than 20, kind of around the same as they did last year. Results are in, and here they are. As you can see here, the winner was 10-15, so we think they're going to have a fantastic year, be a contender, and I agree. I think that they're going to be right on that line, either a little below 15 or a little above, but I think they'll be below. I think that Jim Harding is going to work wonders. I think they had the talent already, and they improved and gelled as the year went on, and he's going to be able to take them to the next level, and I cannot wait for it. So thanks everybody that voted. And right now there's one live about Bryce Underwood. So go vote now if you haven't yet. That's going to do it for this episode of the Maize and Bluebeard podcast. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you for your support. I appreciate you always taking the time to hang out with me and talk about our beloved Wolverines. If it's your first time here or you haven't subscribed yet and you've been hanging out, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you be a part of this community, and we're working towards 1,000 subs. Help us get closer. Also, be sure to hit the like button. You can do it real quick, and it helps me out a lot. It helps the algorithm push us out to more people because then they know you're having a good time. Also, leaving comments helps, so make sure to leave a comment and hit that hype button if you get it. If it pops up for you, that helps as well. And for comments, I respond to everyone, so please, let's have some conversation down below. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the video or anything else, or just say hi. I love to talk to you Michigan fans all the time. So I will see you in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. And until I do, enjoy your Thursday. And as always, Michigan fans, go blue.